All right, we're back, and as you can see, I've got a completely different iPad install here. This is what I call iPad 2.0, if you will. So obviously it's built differently. This one I built myself. I decided that instead of going out and spending another several $100s to have someone fabricate one where I couldn't oversee how it was made and all that kind of stuff, I just decided to do it myself. I've built things before. Kind of like this, and I decided to go ahead and tackle this myself and see how it came out. And it came out a lot better than I thought it would, so I'm quite pleased at that. This one obviously is at a different angle. It's at a lot better angle. It's easier to reach because it's further out here. The other one was set so far back in the dash it was kind of hard to reach. I can see it with direct sunlight on it where I couldn't before. The dock connector's built in, so I don't have to mess with the cable anymore. And as you can see, I've got my air vent back, and that's certainly a welcome sight. Over the last year, during last summer, not having that air vent was rather painful. So, a couple other things I've got here. If you look through here, these are air vents right here. Okay, and it's fed obviously by this air vent here. I've got some scoops in the back that actually scoop the air. And because of the contour of the iPad, how it tapers on the edges like that, the air actually comes through here and it hits the bottom of the iPad about here and then circulates around this way. And there's actually openings, channels through here. So I've got cool air that circulates through the sides of the bottom of the iPad. And that has worked out really well. I didn't really know if that would work. I didn't, plug some scientific model into a computer and design this. I just had a good feeling that if I did this, it would help out a lot, and it certainly does. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the iPad in now, and it's pretty simple, a lot easier than before. And as you can see, as soon as it detects power, or when you plug it in, when you turn on the car, it does open up the iPad, and it will also lock the screen when I turn the key off. So that's obviously a very cool thing. So and I can feel the air coming out right here. So that's going to work out really well, I think. So okay, let's talk about the actual system integration. The only thing that's changed here is just the way the iPad is mounted. For the last year, I've been rocking this setup, and the system, the way I've got it integrated into the car is like I said, is rather unique. So the reason I set out to do this is to go with an iPad is I finally got fed up with head units and head unit manufacturers, and just the limitations and the half-ass attempts to integrate features into the next newest head unit. I've owned all head units by Pioneer and Kenwood since 2006, all navigation units anyway. It just seemed like that there was no real innovation and no desire to do anything better. This year is a good example. Both those manufacturers have come out with new units that are pretty much a rehash of the last 2 or 3 units that they've released. And both the manufacturers this year went and omitted features that have been on the last couple years' units. And they'll go and add some, stupid social networking feature into the head unit or something like that 90% of people won't use when they're driving down the road. That's all marketing and attempts to sell units, I think, because of the wow and the cool factor. So I finally got fed up with all that, with just the bugs in the systems that didn't work well, the lack of features in certain areas that I felt could be a lot better somewhere else. So I decided to go this route, and I can say that if there is a limitation of this, I can't think of it right off the top of my head. It has truly opened up the world of what you can do with car audio with this system. It is absolutely amazing what you can do. And obviously I'm an Apple fan. I own all Apple products, but you don't necessarily have to go iPad with this. Any tablet should be on an order of magnitude better than the best head unit out there, to be really honest with you. So now let's talk about how I've got it integrated in the system. Now, if you've seen a lot of the other iPad install videos in vehicles, you've seen a dash kit fabrication, the Kenwood Forums got an email indication. All right, let's just dismiss that right now. You've got your iPad, you've got some type of volume knob, because obviously there's no way to control the volume. You can't do it from the iPad. So you have a volume knob going into maybe some kind of sound processor, or maybe going straight into an amp and into the speakers from there. Or you've got an integrated head unit, and you're basically going USB out of the iPad into the head unit, or maybe Bluetooth audio, and you're controlling your volume from there. Well, my take on it is a bit differently. First of all, I wanted to get away from the head unit altogether. So there is absolutely no head unit in this car. So I had to come up with a way to be able to give me everything that I had with a head unit, plus a lot more. So the requirements were, it had to have good audio, which was not a problem. But the biggest thing is I wanted to retain Bluetooth hands-free from my phone, my iPhone 4, and be able to control everything from the iPad from my steering wheel, meaning pause, play, track skip, volume, and Bluetooth hands-free, all from the steering wheel, without a bunch of other buttons on the steering wheel that I don't have. So that goes in the first component, which is this little gem right here. Okay, the first, the head unit, if you will, the first step in this system is a Parrot Bluetooth MKI 9000. Basically, that's a Parrot Bluetooth hands-free music kit. Okay, all it is a brain and a remote control, and this is a remote control right here. I've got play, pause, track skip, I've got volume here, and I've got make and receive call, end call, all from this little remote control right here. The factory integrated steering controls I'm not using because I don't need to anymore. Parrot does have a harness that you can actually integrate your factory steering wheel controls into the Parrot Bluetooth piece that will allow you to retain that. But with this is perfect. I can control everything from this system right here with my thumb, and that is very, very cool. So there's 3 Parrot Bluetooth systems. The one I have is the MKI 9000, which is just the brain and the remote control. They also have a 9100, which is the same thing that I've got here, plus a little 2-inch display. It basically gives you the phone number that's calling you, which you don't need, because whenever you receive a call on this, the voice will come over and tell you who's calling. And I can look down at my phone. This is the cradle that I put my phone in, and it keeps it charged. I can just look down and see who's calling, so that's not a problem. And then there's also the 9200, which gives you the remote, the brain, and an LCD screen that will show you artists playing on the iPod, show you who's calling, the phone number of who's calling, and also integrates an SD card slot. Okay, so those of you that want to do SD card media, you might want to look into that if you're going to go with this system. Incidentally, this system here, the 9000, also has a line input for any other MP3 player, as well as a USB and Bluetooth audio. So I've got basically all of the sources that I had on the last head unit I had, minus SD card, but I don't ever use that anyway, so it's not a problem. So that's the system that I've got. From there, we don't stop there. It goes to a Rockford Fosgate 360.2, which is a digital programmable equalizer crossover. Very, very good equalizer. Software controlled. You actually control it from your laptop computer. It connects via Bluetooth to the processor, and you do all of your setup and your tweaking and everything from there. There's a line out and a speaker out on the Parrot Bluetooth system that goes to the Rockford Fosgate, and then I'm RCA out of the Rockford Fosgate to a 6-channel JL audio amp, and then from there to my speakers. And I've got unbelievable sound quality. You wouldn't believe it from a Parrot Bluetooth system. The Rockford Fosgate, I think, has a lot to do with that. But it really does sound superb. All right, guys, I'm running out of time. I'm going to end right here. I'm going to come back with the next video. Stay tuned.